Wherever you're feeling resistance in your life right now, there's also stagnation. So this could be physically in your body. Maybe you're feeling persistent pain. Maybe you're feeling, chronic shoulder pain, neck pain, digestive issues, joint issues, hip pain. There's going to be stagnation in that area. But it's not just showing up in your body. Wherever you're feeling emotional resistance, so if you keep repeating certain patterns around guilt or shame or worthiness, or if you're finding it difficult to find the right partner or expand in your finances, or to grow in your business, or to develop personally, or get this new opportunity, or jump into something new, that resistance is due to stagnation. So this often happens because there's a lack of movement. Stagnation is really a lack of movement. There's something that's piling up. There's something that's keeping on compounding, and it's making it difficult for things to flow back and forth. And so when we're talking about physically, like physical pain, you could have some sort of blockage. So in your shoulders, for example, maybe the muscles are too tight, so the lymph is not flowing through. However, that's an indication that something deeper is going on. It's never just physical. There's an emotional blockage that's happening there. And this could be some sort of trauma that you experienced like years and years and years and years ago. And your conscious mind has forgotten about it. You feel like you've moved on, but your subconscious mind has held on to it. Maybe you did the therapy, maybe you did the talk, maybe you moved to a new location, but you never actually moved that experience through your body. So your mind has forgotten, but your body's still remembering. And so you're finding yourself stagnant. You're finding yourself, being resistant to new things, to new opportunities. You're finding yourself repeating not just certain patterns in your life, but certain pain patterns in your body, because your body is remembering, your body's holding on to everything. And so the way to get past this is through movement. I'm going to break this down a little bit further. But for example, if you keep attracting a certain type of person, say you're wanting to move forward in your relationships, in your love life, if you keep attracting a certain type of person, or having difficulty in that relationship, it's because you're playing in these patterns of past pain and past trauma. Maybe you've experienced a difficult relationship in your past. Maybe you went through something difficult, a really tough breakup, and you feel like, that was years ago. I've moved on from it by now, but you keep attracting these same cycles of partners, or these same broken relationships. And that's because something in your body has not shifted as you've grown, and as you've moved on, and excelled in certain areas of your life. You have not yet processed that pain through your body. Even if you've done therapy, even if you've talked it out, even if you've moved on and it's been years, your body has still held on to it. And so you are getting that resistance in moving forward. And this is both a nervous system safety issue, which I'll talk about in another video, but there's also something physical that's blocking you. And so when we're experiencing resistance, I'm going to stay on relationships as an example, it's going to show up as unworthiness, it's going to show up as guilt, it's going to show up as shame, maybe resentment, maybe harboring feelings. And so that can show up in many different places in our body. So this can show up in our heart, so our chest, our neck, our shoulders. If we're holding on to any guilt, any resentment, harboring old feelings against this person, this is where it's going to show up. So we might always feel like we have a broken heart. We might not even realize that it's a broken heart, but we might be feeling chest pains, might be feeling, difficulty breathing. And if it's an issue around like communication, maybe you had to hold back a lot in that relationship, you weren't able to communicate a lot, you were making yourself small, you're going to feel a lot of clenching in your jaw, you're going to feel a lot of tightness in your masseter muscles along your jawline. You're going to feel tightness in your throat as well, because you hadn't had that ability to project and move forward. And so now when you're trying to date and you're trying to move on, it's difficult because it's bringing up all these old wounds that you had not yet moved forward on. And so you're going to keep attracting partners who maybe are putting you down, who are maybe emotionally unavailable, who might not be showing up in the way that you need, who are inconsistent. And that's because you have not yet processed those feelings and that trauma through your body. Right. And if we're talking about finances or business or new opportunities or jobs or career, um, that all has to do with our lower body, our solar plexus, our sacral plexus, sacral in particular, that has to do with our creativity, our financial abundance. And so if we've had any issues with pleasure, so experiencing pleasure, maybe we were shamed in your body, maybe, you were shamed in your creativity, maybe you struggled financially, maybe you in the past had experienced poverty or like extreme financial loss or even a little financial loss. If you had issues connecting with your sensuality or sexuality, that's all going to show up around the hips. So you might be feeling low back pain, hip pain, um just issues around like your reproductive organs. But that's going to show up in your life as difficulty with expansion, difficulty with you know um being comfortable with the idea of being financially abundant, or being comfortable with the idea of creating new opportunities and new resources. So you're going to feel resistance in these areas, right? And that it's always going to show up. It's going to show up mentally for you, subconsciously, not consciously, because consciously you're like, I'm doing the things, I'm applying for the jobs, or I'm going on the dates, or I'm putting myself out there. But the thing is, your body is still not comfortable with it and your mind is still not comfortable with it, right? So how do we release stagnation? How do we remove stagnation? And this is the same physically. It's something that I do with massage, with reiki, with yoga, um, and it's something that I encourage also in coaching. And how do we release stagnation, not just from the physical body but through our life? And the only thing that beats stagnation is movement. So if we're talking about stagnation in the joints or in fluid in your body, maybe there's fluid retention, fluid buildup. Maybe there's buildup of like lactic acid or pain or adhesions or clusters of trigger points, whatever it is. We're not able to get the circulation, the fresh blood, the fresh opportunities in there. The only way that we're able to get that through is through movement. So we have to physically, manually move the tissue, circulate the blood through. We have to really work through the stuff in the body physically so that we can create that flow. So movement is the only way that we can reduce stagnation. So I'm going to give you three areas right now where you can start to incorporate movement to help you release stagnation and release resistance in whatever area of your life that you're feeling. So the first thing is to move your body. So this, again, with massage therapy, with Reiki, with yoga, there's different, whatever works for you, whether it's walking, whether it's going to the gym, you have to be moving your body, because your body is the keeper of all the secrets. Your body's the keeper of all the trauma, right? It holds it. Again, your conscious mind has moved on. You feel like, this has happened years ago. You feel like I'm doing all the courses, I'm learning all the skills. How come I'm not growing? How come I'm not expanding? Your body's still holding on to those feelings of shame and unworthiness. So anytime you have that feeling come up for you, say you try something new, say you try to put yourself out there in your business or put yourself out there in dating, and it doesn't work out for you, you're gonna, instead of going back into those same patterns, those same stories of like, see, I told you so, this is not gonna work for me, this is not meant for me. Rather than doing that because that's what your body's used to, I want you to move your body. So if you go on a new date or you start something new, and you're not sure if it's going to work, or it has you feeling, really anxious or really upset, even if you just went through a meeting that didn't go the way that you want, or had a conversation with a loved one and didn't go the way that you want, I want you to move your body. Don't just sit with that emotion, right? You have to physically move it through your body. Because if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling, you know, rejected, or if you're feeling, unworthy, those feelings, if you just are sitting there, it's going to fester and it's going to manifest and create more pain and more resistance and more stagnation. And that shame is going to get locked in your body. That feeling of unworthiness is going to get locked in your body. So you literally have to move. And if you haven't yet joined our sanctuary, you need to join our sanctuary, our Sacred Lotus Sanctuary, because in there I have an entire regulation library where I'm showing you how to process specific emotions through specific movements. So if it is, something that you're going through with a relationship, or something that you're going through with a block in communication, or if it's something around shame or unworthiness, or expanding financially, or expanding in your business, or if you feel like you're spiraling, there are certain areas of your body, there are certain movements that you can do to help actually process that emotion, so that it doesn't get stuck in your body forever and you experience this stagnation ongoing. So go into the sanctuary. It's free right now, so you can go in and go through that entire regulation library and have those tools to support you based on what you're going through. So, I'm teaching you how to work through triggers. I'm teaching you how to work through that feeling of urgency, or if you're feeling shame, or if you've, been rejected. There's videos in there that help you literally process that emotion through the body so that you're not holding on to it forever. So go into the sanctuary for that. But regardless, you're going to want to move your body. So when you feel that emotion come up, don't just sit there. Don't just hold on to it forever. Literally move your body. Move it so that that old trauma begins to break up. Because otherwise, you're going to just keep compounding trauma and new experiences into your body, and that's only going to reinforce the stories that you're telling yourself. It's going to reinforce the pain that you're experiencing in your body, that stagnation, and it's going to continue on. But movement allows you to break down and break through those emotions so that you're creating space for new things to come through. And that's going to segue me into the second point. So we're going to move your mind, okay? So you're going to catch yourself in your patterns, right? You're going to catch yourself in the thoughts that you keep telling yourself. So we're going to go back to relationships. If you keep telling yourself, there's no good guys around here, or there's I keep attracting these low lives, or men are so inconsistent, or women are this type of way. If you keep telling yourself these things, these are the patterns that you keep playing in, and that's just going to be your reality, right? Whatever you think about, whatever you focus on, that's your reality. Everyone has a different reality. You can't just say, this is my reality and it's your reality and we all think the same. No, your reality is literally what you think. So I want you to move your mind. If you keep repeating the same thought patterns around like, I don't deserve this, or this is too hard, or this is too difficult, or maybe I'm doing too much, maybe I'm not ready for this. Like, these are the stagnant thoughts, the cyclical thoughts that you keep thinking about, that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you stagnant. So move these thoughts. If you catch yourself in a pattern of, he's ignoring me, he doesn't like me, he's not showing up consistently for me, move those thoughts. Literally move those thoughts out of your brain. And you have to really train yourself. This is about repetition. You have to literally start saying to yourself, I'm whole and healthy regardless if I have a relationship or not. Or, I am so magnetic. I am worthy of love. Whether or not this person chooses me or not, it doesn't define my worth. I am totally okay. You gotta start praising yourself rather than shaming yourself. So all of those shaming thoughts and low thoughts that are keeping you, in your room eating a tub of ice cream and, just being like, this is my life. I'm a single mom and I'm, this age and this doesn't work for me. Like, Like if that's your thoughts and that's what you're stuck in, that is a stagnant cycle, and that's going to keep you stuck in that cycle. So you have to literally move your thoughts. So remove those ones, catch yourself. And I talk to myself in third person all the time. I'll be like, girl, stop it. Stop it right now. You know that you're a catch. This person, maybe they have things going on in their life. It doesn't matter. Whatever they got going on is not my concern. My life is full. I'm going out. I'm getting cute. I'm going to treat myself. I have so many good things that are going on in my life that I'm not just sitting around stuck on this. And if it's not relationship, if it's finance, or if it's opportunity or business, like rather than saying like, am I cut out for this? Am I built for this? You know, if things are not unfolding the way that you're expecting them to unfold, you have to, you know, get out of those thought patterns of, am I worthy? Do I deserve this? And change your thought patterns to things like, you know, I'm trusting the process. I am showing up every day. This is a process, and I have the patience, I have the stamina, and I have the endurance to play the long game. I'm not looking for instant gratification. I'm looking to learn the intricacies of what this actually takes, right? And so that takes time, and I'm willing to put in the time, and I have what it takes to put in the time. I have what it takes to show up every single day and to show up consistently. You have to start moving your thoughts. Don't get stuck in those stagnant cycles of unworthiness and shame, because that's what's going to keep the resistance alive, right? And we need to move it. Just like we move the stagnation out of the muscle, just like we move the swelling out of the muscle to create new flow, to get that old stagnant blood out and to bring the fresh, oxygenated, life-giving blood back in. That's what we got to do. We need to bring the new, fresh, life-giving thoughts back in, right? You want to be full of life. You want to be full of opportunity. You want to be full of joy and that ability to expand. You want to be in movement, because whatever is stagnant is not moving. And I'd rather be moving forward than not moving at all, right? I want to be in motion. I want to be in motion. And sometimes it's going to look like, you know, just like the same movement, the same movement, the same movement over and over. You're going to keep pulling yourself back. You're going to be like, is this worth it? Like, am I ever going to find my person? Am I ever going to break through in business? But just like you can't heal your entire, you know, musculoskeletal system in one treatment, we're not going to heal your entire traps that it took you to, you know, get into this rock solid position, and took you 20 years to develop all these clusters of trigger points. You're not going to, you know, in just a short amount of time, experience a breakthrough in your thought patterns, or experience a breakthrough in your relationships, and experience a breakthrough in your finance or your business, right? You have to be in it for the long game. You have to be in it for the repetition. Okay. And again, we go into the sanctuary. I teach you those regulation techniques. I teach you the specific words that you need to say. A lot of them, which I'm sharing in this video, but if you want deeper support and like live coaching, you can come in and say, you know, I'm feeling blocked in this area. How do I move past? How do I move forward? That's what you get in the sanctuary. You have a whole entire regulation library to help you with move through specific things that you're working through in your life. Maybe it's a health issue, maybe it's a finance issue, and maybe it's something about love or dating or romance or relationships. Whatever it is, you have those specific tools in the library. But yes, you need to be able to move your thoughts, and you have to be so consistent with it and not give up. And this is an example that I use often. There's a study that was done, I think in the 50s or 60s, where it was called the learned helplessness study. And so these animals, these dogs, were put into a cage, and whenever they tried to go to the exit and leave that cage, that prison essentially, they would get an electrical shock. So after a while, they stopped trying. They became withdrawn. They became closed off. They became really anxious. And so they just stopped trying, because they're like, I don't want to risk that loss. I don't want to risk getting hurt, because I know for sure that if I try, this bad thing is going to happen. But then once the experimenters stopped shocking the dogs still stopped trying. Even though there was no threat there, they stopped trying. So then they brought other dogs in who had never experienced the shock, and those dogs, they kept finding the exit. They kept going to the exit because they didn't have that same experience that those traumatized dogs had. And so the experimenters were like, even though there's no threat here, the dogs have learned that, they've learned this helplessness. And so what they started doing is they started pulling the dogs out manually, one by one by one. And, the first few times the dogs kept running back in, they kept running back in. There was that fear there. There was that, there was that anxiety there. They were still withdrawn. They knew this was a lived experience. Their body remembered, their nervous system remembered that this is risky. I'm going to get hurt if I do this. So they would just keep running back in and running back in. But eventually, over time, after repetition, over and over and over again, the dogs finally started coming out and staying out, or coming out on their own and being more open to that new horizon, that new possibility. And that is just like us humans, right? When we've experienced some sort of trauma, whether in relationships, whether in finance, whether, physically or in childhood, when we've experienced that, we've learned that this thing is not safe. And so we protect ourselves. We don't want to continue hurting ourselves. Even if there's a new opportunity or a new outcome, our body and our mind has learned that this is not safe. So rather than risking it, it's going to protect us. But the only way that we can actually expand and grow is if we keep bringing ourselves out, keep practicing that repetition, keep, basically brainwashing yourself into understanding that there is a new opportunity, right? There is a new experience for me. You have to retrain your thoughts. Literally, you have to interrupt your thoughts all the time. Talk to yourself all the time in third person if you have to. So move your body, move your mind. The third thing I'm going to say is move your environment. Okay, so you cannot heal in the same place that hurt you. Okay, so you have to create novelty in your life in order for you to understand that new experiences are possible. Because if you're in the same place doing the same thing, your mind and your body is not going to understand that something new is possible. So you need to allow yourself to get into new environments to expand the possibilities of your mind and your body, so that your body can feel safe being like, okay, this is something new. I'm experiencing something new. I don't really have to be stuck in the place or the patterns that I was stuck in. And so this could be something small. I mean, if you're able to take a trip and go vacation somewhere or go do work abroad somewhere, that is like one of the most valuable things that I think we can have in our life is travel and experiencing new cultures, experiencing new countries, getting out of our own bubbles. But if you can't travel for whatever reason, even just going to the next town, or even just going to the next community, working in a brand new coffee shop, or working in a new neighborhood that you're not used to, going to a new gym. Maybe you're just used to going to the same gym over and over. Go to a new gym. Even me today, I was like, I'm tired of recording in my house. Like, I felt resistance. I was like, I don't, like, I know I know I want to record, but I'm just tired of being in the house all the time. So I bundled up. It's like negative something out here. Like, it's freezing, but I'm like, let me go outside, get some fresh air, and record in a new environment. And that gave me some excitement. That gave me some incentive to be like, okay, like this is something new. This is me expanding. This is me trying, being brave and trying something new. And so, yeah, moving your environment is really important. So if you feel like, maybe you've been in the same city where all these things have happened to you, which is very common for a lot of us. If you can move cities, that's amazing. But even if you can just leave for a couple of days and really brainstorm and try to grow in a new city, meet new people in a new city, connect with new networks in a new city, that's amazing. Or, like, even just like I said, a simple gym, a simple coffee shop, just creating that, just allowing your body to feel safe and your mind to feel safe, expanding beyond your regular, right? Your regular. Because again, we can get stuck in those patterns of same schedule, same people, same places over and over, and that's even a form of stagnation. But if we actually want to grow and expand beyond the life that we have right now, we have to be willing to do something new, and we have to be comfortable in that newness. And so again, that comes with repetition, right? So again, recap, to move stagnation, or stagnation is really, what did I say? Wherever there's resistance, there's stagnation. So wherever you're feeling resistance or pain or block, there's stagnation. And the one thing that beats stagnation is movement. And so we're going to move in three ways. We're going to move our body, we're going to move our mind, and then we're going to move our environments. And so that will help you get into the habit of releasing that stagnation and creating space for new opportunities to come into your life and for you to actually get the things that you desire. And don't forget, if you're not yet part of our sanctuary, please join us. We are a group of women that are just tired of repeating the same cycles, and we're ready to process the trauma, process the old emotions through our body, and activate our body's natural ability to heal. So our body was designed in such a beautiful way that it can heal itself. We were designed with systems and processes. God is so perfect and beautiful that anytime there's an injury or there's a hurt or there's a trauma, we can actually heal from it and experience renewal and rejuvenation. And so this is in our physical body, but also in our mental, our spiritual and emotional body as well. And so we do this through nervous system regulation, so retraining our thoughts, creating safety in our mind, and then also processing the old stories and trauma through our body, through movement, through massage, through breath work, through yoga, through sound, all of the ancient wisdom, the powerful healing tools that are easily accessible to us. I'm going to guide you guys through that so that you can get rid of the old, release that stagnation, and make space for the new. So join our sanctuary. It is time for you to reclaim your life. Let's let go of these old patterns. Let's let go of these old cycles and start embodying the new experiences that we want, embodying the new opportunities, embodying the new relationships, the new finances, the expansion that we want, the healing that we want. In order to embody it, we literally have to feel it in our bodies. We need to release that old, create space for the new, and that's what we're doing over in the sanctuary. So it is free. So join us while you can. The link is in our bio. And I look forward to talking to you soon. If you like this video, if you found it was helpful, please like it, please share it, and subscribe with your friends. And let me know in the comments what resonated, what didn't resonate. You can always message me privately too as well. So have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. Bye.